Welcome back to Chasing the Target, and we had a full day of cricket. Very exciting. Really happy that we had a full day of cricket. We saw England staying alive in the T20 World Cup, beating the informed team New Zealand, who have been playing outstanding cricket, and they did give England a scare. But England did manage to basically hold on and win an important game. And then Sri Lanka knocking out Faz's team, Afghanistan. It was a good performance from Sri Lanka. And even though Afghanistan tried to fight in the end, it wasn't enough. And I guess his lack of cricket also, they haven't been playing too much in the tournament. You can clearly tell that they were not fully in it in this game. I have with me both Faz and Rayan. Rayan, how are you doing, bro?
Doing good, Fez bhai.
It's a dark day. That's why
Yeah,
the
bhai.
black hoodie is here.
Sorry, guys. My internet is bothering me.
No worries. Now we can hear you.
Yeah, all right. So it was a good day of cricket. Actually, the first game was very interesting, even though the scoreline might not suggest. But Afghanistan was in the game for long periods of time until one of the overs. I think it was actually an over against Rashid Khan, I believe, where they actually accelerated and they actually hit him for a couple of boundaries, and then they got that belief to chase the target down. And as the commentators had already said, by Afghanistan at the end, last 5 overs, they batted very poorly,
Yeah.
threw away their wickets, and some good bowling by Sri Lanka, no doubt. And of course, the main match of that group, England versus New Zealand, did not disappoint at all. Josh, the boss, is back in form, and you know what? This innings to get back into form is going to send shockwave among the rest of the team's camp because now they know they have to deal with this kind of a player who's in this kind of ferocious form, and he got out by through no fault of his own as well. Although he was given a couple of chances, but क्या होता भाई अब आप catches drop करे तो you see in the game India South Africa you get punished, and
Yeah.
I was very impressed with all the other performances as well.
Fez,
Thank you
you
for that,
mentioned,
Sikri.
yeah, I think, Ran, we lost you there, but Fez, you mentioned yesterday, Josh Butler is your fantasy pick. A big player stepping up in the big occasion. Of course, a bit of luck, like Ryan mentioned, that Kane Williamson catch where, it was given out, but you could tell that it did. Even Williamson himself didn't know that it touched the floor, but it did, unfortunately. But apart from that, it was a good innings from Butler. He stepped up in a big game, and he set the platform for England to get to that target of 179.
Yeah, I mean Butler, when the captain was required, he stepped up. I mean, देखो ये matches में we've seen throughout the tournament that there have been a lot of misfields and drop catches. Even the Sri Lanka match, I think there were a few drops. Uh, yeah, that is something from a captain's point that Kane Williamson would be upset about, that the fact that he was not able to get him. But Josh Butler throughout his innings, what we mentioned yesterday was that he was looking more aggressive. He was ready to take the big shots and the risks and wasn't afraid of getting out. Yeah, in the beginning, he did take his time to settle in due to the Gabba conditions, but I think he really, even after that luck factor kicked in, it still takes a lot of confidence to, sort of continue with that aggression, right?
Yeah.
Uh, so for me, but apart from Butler, if you really ask me who won England the game, I think it would be England's bowling. England's bowling was spot on because the likes of Sam Curran and I think even Adil Rashid and these guys, they really restricted the runs. If you look at in New Zealand's innings, at one point there was 60 runs required from 33 balls or something, which is
Yes.
all
It's
right kind of a
impossible.
chase
Yeah.
with the quality that New Zealand possesses in the terms of Glenn Phillips and James Neesham and
Yeah.
the other hitters that are there. So you would expect New Zealand to have a 120 run target where it would come down to 40 of like 24 or 40 of 18, which is still gettable. So I think that is where Sam Curran and the likes of I think Moeen Ali got one over and like Adil Rashid. These guys really stepped up and showed their experience, which led them to victory. I mean, I wouldn't completely give it to George Butler, but even the bowling changes are credited to him, who he brought in and stuff. And Mark Wood really bowling a fantastic spell as well. So yeah, I think that is the. It was a truly like a true team effort that was required, and it was at the right moment. With the Sri Lanka game, I feel like Afghanistan really added a lot of pressure on themselves. I mean, they were having a decent start. I would really say the first 6 overs they played beautifully in the power play. About
Yeah.
40 to 50 runs were what they got. But after that, they just couldn't accelerate and they couldn't get the big shots in. They lost a lot of wickets in the middle, and that started adding pressure one on one after the other. And like you said, lack of, I think, experience at the same of lack of cricket, they
Game
weren't
time.
able to just game time. And I think that was what they weren't able to do. Though they were still in the game till like the 12th over, but at some point of time we knew that Sri Lanka would take it home.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
Welcome back, sir.
Welcome back. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can. Sorry for the lack of connectivity,
Okay,
boys.
no problem at all. You guys both describe both the games. You gave your opinion on it. Let's go into the eye test. We'll analyze some specific things regarding the games today. So this is our eye test section. So the first thing I want to discuss in the eye test is the New Zealand opening bowlers, Trent Bolt and Tim Southee, who have been very successful in this World Cup so far. Both going 10 runs economy per over. Even Ferguson, his economy was 11.25. So the approach from the England batsmen, they've been faltered. They've faltered. They've been criticized about it, especially in that Ireland game. But this is the England's approach. They will play aggressive cricket. They will attack you. It doesn't matter if you're an Irish bowler or a New Zealand bowler. They will play a certain brand of cricket. And Ryan, today they put Bolt and Southee under pressure. They didn't let them, get those wickets, swing the ball, bowl that Test match line in length, and consume those short balls. Both Butler, even Alex Hales, I felt he batted really well under pressure.
Yes, he did. And he actually got lucky in the beginning. Alex says, there was one in swinger that Trent Bolt, his classic delivery that he
Yeah,
always bowls at.
inside, yeah.
It was an inside edge and went for four. If that hadn't happened, the game could have gone another way. But as we had seen in the tournament so far, both the openers had struggled to get off to good, fast starts. So now that both of them had settled and they got that chance, that permeated throughout the rest of the lineup as well, so that you could see some good aggressive batting from both Butler, Hales, and then when Brook came, he also gave it. But I was kind of disappointed with the performances of Moeen Ali and Stokes when they came out to bat.
Yeah, me too, man.
But
I'll be very honest. Me too. I'm a
yeah,
huge Ben Stokes fan, but I was
yes,
disappointed.
yeah, and I think he'll continue to be get backed in the team, and he will keep his place. I don't think I don't see him getting dropped anytime. I don't know. I've been wrong on other occasions, but I don't know because the coach has said he has backed him. But I saw the approach. They didn't go with Malan at one down because they wanted to keep up that momentum. And at the end, I think even after where they were after 16, 17 overs, I thought they were a little 10 to 12 runs short of what they would have wanted. They were 145, 146 for two at 17 overs. I thought, with a well set Butler and well set and Livingston, he had smashed a six and then he had got a four, a ram shot. I think they went for one too many and lost wickets at crucial time, but still, their brilliant bowling at the end saved them today.
Yeah, Fez, when I asked you yesterday, I बोले थे कि stick with Hales, don't go Phil Salt, and it worked out. Big. He has the experience. He's what 32, 33 now. He's played big games before. You're impressed with the approach and okay, the strike rate in the end, he just got like 50 or 40 deliveries, but him and Butler were aggressive. They were looking to get boundaries, and they put the New Zealand bowlers under pressure, especially those two men, Bolt and Southee, बहुत खतरनाक रहते हैं in the power play.
Yeah, I mean, see, we witnessed these two open in the past as well, and some bringing in someone like a Phil Salt who hasn't played one game, it would be like an Afghanistan situation where you don't have a lot of game time and you're coming in a pressured match where you have to win this just to get to the 5 points and battle it out in the last match, right? So I think that would be unfair on Phil Salt also to expect him to play a big innings. Alex Hales, with his approach, I would say that he has the ability to clear that big boundaries, and we know that the boundaries aren't short in Australia. And the massive hitting that he did throughout his innings, I mean, he hit a couple of sixes as well. So it shows that he has the ability. And the best thing about this opening pair was that they got a very good start that England required. Or else, if the same thing happened, like where Ryan mentioned that the openers would not put up a score, then it would be a havoc kind of a situation. So I think that is somewhere that made a difference in terms of the other players coming and sort of settling in easier rather than being like forced to hit unnecessarily and get out. So there was no collapse in that matter. Obviously, we saw Livingstone hit get out unfortunately, but to a good ball that from Ferguson. But I would expect more from Harry Brook actually, because you guys have been mentioning him a lot, but he hasn't turned up to the party yet. And he just got out. But again, I don't know how the circumstances. He must have thought that hit out or get out. मेरे को तो नहीं देखा उन्हें जब आया कि hit out or get out का मसला था. He still had quite some time to play a decent innings.
Yeah,
But yeah, credit to the bowling of England, but that is what for me won the game. Like for me, England really won the
Yep.
game basis of their bowling because of, like you mentioned, man, all the fast bowlers from England have had an economy rate of 10. Sorry, New Zealand have had an economy rate of 10, and the England bowlers are still on the 6 and 7 thing. So that
And they
makes a
just
very
have
big
so
difference.
many more options. England ke paas. They have 7 or 8 genuine bowling options where they can actually rotate and see, if one of those bowlers is actually getting pelted around the ground, they can casually bring in Ben Stokes, who's a brilliant bowler, and he got the breakthrough. They were
Yeah.
building a partnership, both of them, Phillips and Williamson. And Ben Stokes आके Williamson के गाली आप all the लोग बोल रहे हैं on social media के actually that was good for New Zealand because Williamson got allowed Neesham to come in, but the most important wicket in that chase, I think, was from Mark Wood, that
जी.
really fast bouncer he bowled to Neesham, जिससे catch हुई, and then the
Yeah.
momentum फिर वापस England के favor में आ गया,
Yeah,
and
because
then they
Nisham
carried
did
on.
come and hit a boundary straight away, so
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
he could have.
That's exactly. Yeah. Go ahead, Muswan. Go ahead, Muswan.
नहीं बोलो.
No, that's exactly what we were telling when Ryan was not even here. Like, because वो जो विकेट उन्हें लिया क्रूशियल विकेट, उसके वजह से क्या है, उन्हें पूरे परेशान हो गए एकदम, बीच में क्या कर लेने का है, अब क्वालिफाई नहीं हो रहे, अब मारो, टेंशन में आ गए थे. बट
टेंशन में तो आ गए थे इंग्लैंड.
स्पीकिंग स्पीकिंग ऑफ मारो, यहाँ देख रहे हैं आप भाई को. रिमेम्बर द नेम व्हाट अबाउट करण कहते भाई, रिमेम्बर द नेम लॉकी फर्गसन था. लॉकी फर्गसन को लॉक करके जो पीटे है ना, पचकड़ा मारे आज न्यूजीलैंड. मेरा बॉय मारा भाई, जॉर्ज द बॉस आज मारा, और आई सेड बेन स्टोक्स भी क्रूशियल विकेट लिया भाई.
Vinny got the Ferguson thing wrong, but he got pick very correct. Can you please tell us who the pick was? Fez.
Dhananjay.
Dhananjay De Silva.
Who does he play for?
श्रीलंका.
मैं क्या बोला, श्रीलंका सपोर्टर है उन्हें, मैं उसको मालूम है. पिंडा कोई भी नहीं लेता है धनंजय को फैंटेसी टीम में. सब हसरंगा जाते हैं, राजापक्सा जाते हैं, कोई भी नहीं लेता. इन्हें लिया क्यों लिया? He knows his team, bro. That's what I'm trying to explain. Now you believe me, right?
Yeah, man.
But Dhananjay also was due for a big innings, bhai. वो जल्दी होने जा रहा था, even though promising starts.
Vinay bhai, even if you show me your Indian passport, I still think you have a Sri Lankan one. Sorry.
Daniel Alexander.
He knows his team. He knows his team inside out. He knows Dhananjay is going to perform. Ryan, when you mentioned Karan in the comments, that was my second name in the eye test. Sam Curran, bro. I'll give you my honest opinion, then you can discuss from what you saw. I honestly felt this guy cannot bowl in Australian condition. He's too slow for Australian condition. Doesn't have pace. He reminded me of, like, back in the day when you had the Indian medium pacers like Ganguly type. In terms of pace, I'm saying.
Irfan Pathan type.
Irfan Pathan type. Someone like who needs swing. He needs English conditions. He needs that, overcast and all that. But man, oh man, the way he's been bowling in Australia, not only in the World Cup, even before that, he's bowling death overs, he's bowling crucial overs. Today, kaisa bacha on a game? If you look at his economy, he gave only 26 runs, picked a couple of wickets. Very good in the death overs. Okay, fine. New ball I can still expect that. His death over bowling, bro.
Wait, you said pace and he wants those conditions, but the thing is, lack of pace, he makes it up with really good accuracy. Uski accuracy of his Yorker rarely misses his Yorker, rarely gets hit. So, I mean, when you have that kind of accuracy, even with thodi bahut pace, chala le sakte. So that's why Karan was superb.
I think
that
because
one
of
crucial fix, जो मारा अकेले, तो all-round performance बहुत अच्छी थी आज Karan.
नहीं, because of Karan, दूसरे bowlers को भी वो एक belief मिला कि we can bowl on this pitch and there's going to be no hassle. I mean, थोड़ा बहुत उन लोगों के टाइम पे, इंग्लैंड के टाइम पे अच्छे conditions थोड़ा help करे उन लोगों को. न्यूजीलैंड के टाइम पे इतना movement नहीं मिला बेचारे, and बहुत बुरा हाल ही है. I just read a comment which I don't want to describe, but I mean, वो difference factor है. I think Sam Karan को बहुत ज़्यादा underrate कर दिए थे, I think, boys अपना पूरे, like, because we didn't see him a lot, and अभी जो line and length उन्हें maintain कर रहा, जो conditions में आके उन्हें डाल रहा, उन्हें he's sort of getting such wicket that you won't expect him to get, and उन्हें ऐसा movement ला रहा ball में, pace change अच्छा है उसका, Yorker जैसा Ryan mention करा, बेहतरीन Yorker है उसका, and उन्हें seriously अपने सब कुछ stump कर दिया उन्हें. So I think that is something very good.
Yeah, I think Ryan mentioned it. The accuracy was outstanding. He's compensating for that lack of pace, and also the variations have been really good. And I just felt those variations won't work in Australia. That was my honest opinion. हम लोग बोलते थे, right, कि like Harshal Patel if he plays जाता, but he's been very effective.
And आज इसके work करे वो variation Mustafa, you know why? Because Gabba pitch was 4 matches old and ball was gripping second innings. So that's why those variations were even more effective. So I think that played a part.
Another thing another person that we should actually talk about in the eye test is, I think, Glenn Phillips. उन्हें बहुत सॉलिड मारा यार उन्हें. I mean बेचारा unfortunately he couldn't take them home, but तुम्हारा वही है क्या? अच्छा किसी को इशारा कर रहे हो आप? You can't see me. जॉन
Yeah,
सीना की एंट्री क्या बोल रहे हो क्या? I'm like मैं समझा
मोइन भाई लेकिन
विनय भाई कमेंट से सता रहे तो उनको बोल रहे क्या बोल के समझ रहा हूँ मैं,
no,
लेकिन
Glenn Phillips, man.
Glenn,
Even we talked about him before as well, but he's
yeah.
surpassing even those expectations. I always knew he was talented, but the way he's batting up, sahi bol rahe, like God.
SRH, come on
For
bro.
me सबसे बड़ी चीज क्या था कि भाई like we were
Sarich mein
expecting.
unhe?
फिर उसको एक
Yeah.
गेम नहीं दिया लास्ट ईयर. बुमरान को
It's
खेला है,
game
उसको
over,
निकाल.
bro. It's game
Yes,
over. It's game over. Bring it on.
एक गेम नहीं मिला उसको लास्ट टाइम.
Oh my
Like I
God.
was saying, equation ऐसा था situation में कि विलियमसन की इनिंग्स was actually a supporting role which was required at that time. तो मैं उतना गालियां नहीं दूंगा विलियमसन को 40 or
You
40
think
yes
it
it's a
was?
slow
You
thing
think it was
because
required at
I
that point?
disagree. I disagree.
because I'll tell you because Phillips at the other end was booming and सही जा रहे थे मतलब एक लेवल तक मैं बोल रहा हूँ 60 of 33 था 60 of 33 मसला तुम बोलो with Glenn Phillips with James Neesham ऐसे
Yeah,
लोग
New
हैं
Zealand.
एक 20 का ओवर नहीं मिलेगा आपको कैसा भी मिलेगा आदिल रशीद था you have like I get Markwood's pace and stuff but you pace पे भी क्या मारा Markwood को एक छिक्का तो I think वो फैक्टर ये हो गया कि ना बहुत ज्यादा प्रेशर में आगे थे yes there was a tension also but 60 of 33 is still a very respectable kind of a gettable kind of a target.
Yeah.
But
What do you guys think? That's
मेरे
what I
को
feel.
I know मैं विलियमसन की कैप्टनसी को बहुत हाई रेट करता हूँ, but आजकल स्पेशली इन T20s 1-7 जहाँ पर he is actually having an effective strike rate के साथ जो खेल रहा 40 or 40 in a chase, even though he came in at what 8 for 1, but still मुस्तफा भाई 40 or 40 balls and putting the pressure on Glenn Phillips. बच गया Glenn Phillips, फिर से मैं बोल रहा हूँ आपको, क्योंकि मोइन भाई बहुत easy catch drop करते हैं, वो जो pressure विलियमसन की
Yeah.
slow batting डाली, that's why he forced him to play those shots. Williamson, even if he plays say 40 or 30 balls, 40 or 40,
Yeah.
10 balls का बहुत बड़ा रहता हूँ. I'm just hoping Williamson can find that touch. Otherwise, you promote Mitchell up the order and bring Chapman in. I know maybe in the future that's a plan New Zealand can go for. Keep Williamson for tests and ODIs, but अब वो T20 में इसकी approach जैसा बबूमा का भी मेरा same problem है इसके साथ.
Yeah,
Bamua जीत
and
रहा है, Bamua को छोड़
the
दो.
Tuk Tuk Academy is growing even on Twitter. Like the
Yes.
fan page is 20,000 followers, and every day they're getting material, man. They're getting content. I think this is the best fan page to open right now.
Yes.
The Tuk Tuk Academy. You have KL
And
Rahul, you
Dinda
have
Academy.
Finch. It's incredible how every team has a player like this right now, and they're playing like that. Like they're actually playing very slow. Vinay is asking, should they have played Bracewell over Mitchell? Mitchell, Darren Mitchell is saying.
Darren.
Yeah.
कल तो उन्होंने बोल रहे थे सोजी को बिठाओ इनको बिठाओ Darren Mitchell ले लिया विनय.
मिचेल जो है मिचेल आई थिंक उसको उसकी रोल सूट नहीं कर रही उसको ऐसा कमिंग इन एंड स्मैशिंग द बॉल ओवर द प्लेस जो रोल है नंबर 5 पे जो खिला रहे उसको टाइम है ना इसलिए उन्हें ओपन बेटर कर रहा था एलन एंड मिचेल को ओपन करा के कॉनवे एट 3 दैट कुड वर्क बट मिचेल का रोल इन द बैटिंग लाइन उसको सूट नहीं कर रहा है.
Yeah, I agree with that. So you could have done that.
But Darren Mitchell अच्छा फिनिश करा था वो गेम एंड उससे एक्सपेक्टेशंस तो रहते बट ब्रेसवेल भी उतना ज्यादा एक्सपीरियंस नहीं है और ब्रेसवेल को भी बहुत कम खेला नहीं क्रिकेट अभी तक तो इन T20 स्पेशली ज्यादा गेम्स नहीं है उसके.
Yeah, Vinay is right. He's saying he looks out of position. I say Ryan, that's what Ryan mentioned as well. He does look a bit out of position. One more last thing I want to touch upon in the eye test was that Livingston 6, man. The guy is unbelievable. What a beast, bro. He can clear any ground. Gabba
but he's no Glenn Phillips, bro. Hyderabad Glenn Phillips khatam.
Yes.
But no, Yeah, Glenn Phillips has to play, man. He has to start in the 11.
Even with the ball, man, that guy is insane. वो छक्का तो था लेकिन मेरे को उसकी बॉलिंग से भी काफी इंप्रेसिव रहा उसकी बॉलिंग भी सो उन्हें परफेक्ट ऑलराउंडर बन सकता आगे जाके लाइक ऑलरेडी है लाइक टू अ सर्टेन एक्सटेंट बट time will tell us what if once people start figuring him out and stuff whether he's going to be able to survive in that big leagues but abhi ke hisab se yaar us power and that like Mustafa said Gabba mein yaba dabba do karna hai bahut zyada taakat करना पड़ता है and it's not everyone's cup of tea so yeah I mean but बहुत जबरदस्त है but I'm still going towards Glenn Phillips. Glenn Phillips का क्या हाल है यार वो.
And before we move on to the next section, this group, the situation now is still tight. Rain
Yeah.
can still play spoil sport, but England will, if they beat Sri Lanka and Australia win their last game, it'll be a net run rate, and it favors England right now, right? Plus 50
Yeah.
runs. So,
Yeah.
what are your thoughts, Ryan? What is it looking like? How are you predicting this group?
Afghanistan upset against Australia and Sri Lanka upset against England, inshallah.
You're saying so. Then who goes through?
In New Zealand and Sri Lanka.
New Zealand and Sri Lanka. So Sri Lanka, if they win and Australia lose, then Sri Lanka
Yes.
go through. बहुत
Yes.
मुश्किल है वो.
Even if, but you know what, Musa bhai, the way Ireland has played so far, I'm not going to give like New Zealand ke liye, it's not going to be a walk in the park against Ireland as well. It's going to be a tough game, I think, because of what they have shown so far in the tournament. So you
Yeah.
know this group still evenly poised. I'm not saying ये तीनों की प्लेस अभी तक guaranteed नहीं है because Sri Lanka and Ireland are coming off good wins. Okay, Afghanistan का थे, but I'm favoring England and New Zealand at the moment.
Yeah.
But
You
you know these
sorry.
upset scenarios can always happen. What happened, bro?
Yeah, no, I'm also going England and New Zealand. I think these are the two who are going to qualify. I think England will beat Sri Lanka, and I think Australia will still beat. Who are they playing? Afghanistan. I think they'll beat Afghanistan, but I think the margin will be too much for them to catch up. Because if England win, then net run rate it increases even more. Then that margin of victory has to be even bigger, which will be difficult for Australia. But again, remember Sri Lanka did beat England in 2019 in that World Cup in England. So anything is possible, and
Yes.
that's more likely. I think the biggest upset, if you want to call it an upset, would be Sri Lanka beating. Most likely upset would be Sri Lanka beating England. But apart from that, I know Ireland have caused a few upsets already. Afghanistan have the potential, but right now the England Sri Lanka game, that's the one where you might see the weaker, the lesser team winning. But anything can happen.
Yeah,
Faiz,
खाली बारिश नहीं होना, that is my biggest concern. अगर बारिश हुई तो then पिंडे में मिल जाते. But from this angle, it looks. I think if Australia they pull up their socks like 100 over का victory मिल गया, like 100 run का victory कुछ मिल गया, net run पे काफी फर्क अगर हो गया, तो Australia can do it. And I mean मेरे लिए I still feel New Zealand and England will be going through because Sri Lanka are there, a very good team, but they still don't look like the people to take over England kind of a team. अभी भी
If
थोड़ा
both
slow.
teams get washed out, England and Australia's game, then England will go through, right, on net run rate.
Yeah, on net run rate it'll be
and
New Zealand and England. Yeah.
If England gets washed out and Australia win, then England are out. And if Australia get washed out, England win, then Australia are out. It's like that.
अगर वैसा हो गया कि one game wash out हो गया और एक बंदा खेल लिया ना, इतना गलीज रहेगा वो.
Yes.
I mean,
जो मेरे को कल के मैच के लिए डर है.
वो आ रहे
उसके लिए बहुत डर है मेरे को.
उस पे आ रहे अभी. Faiz is showing his chickeny legs. We got a comment from him over there. But let's go. So Rayan and Faiz both gave their analysis on this game. Let's move on to tomorrow. A lot of people in this actual conversation are very keen on talking about tomorrow. So let's talk about the fantasy tips and chips for India versus Bangladesh, and the other game as well, which is which was the other game?
Netherlands, Zimbabwe. Under, bro.
Yeah, all right. So, we already know the fantasy picks for that. So let's go into the tips and chips section. It is Netherlands, Zimbabwe, and India versus Bangladesh. It's in Adelaide. Faiz, what is the weather conditions right now in Adelaide? It was raining today.
Weather conditions as of now, I think, would be no rain. Hopefully, inshallah, because we see clear skies through the whole 2 matches. अभी तो थोड़ा बहुत बारिश होंगी इस फजर के टाइम पे, उसके बाद नहीं होंगी. तो I think
आज तो ओले गिर रहे थे वहाँ पर, hailstorm आया.
Hailstorm आया. The Indian team did practice indoors, right?
ओले ज्यादा नहीं टिकता. ओले चले आता, यूनाइटेड से भी चले गया, यहाँ से भी चले जाएगा होपफुली. तो आई फील के हो जाएंगे 2 मैचेस हो जाएंगे इंशाल्लाह.
2 matches हो जाएंगे. Rayan, which game do you want to talk about first?
I think I'm going to go with the obvious choice, India versus Bangladesh. And आज के कल की press conference में या आज की, I'm not sure which day it was, but Rahul Dravid तो बोल दिया फैज भाई कि we are going to back KL.
मैं देख लिया. तो वैसा नहीं बोला. We are not going to back बोला. उन्होंने बोला is KL Rahul's form a problem? So it's like no, not at all. We are going to back वी आर गोइंग टू बैक नहीं, वो हल्लक में है द्राविड के यहाँ पे, हल्लक में है।
उसका मतलब ये है ना कि हम लोग बैक कर रहे हैं इसको, मतलब उन्हें
बैक नहीं
बोलना नहीं
है
था
भाई, अब कोई
ऑब्वियस वे।
और कौन खेलता है भाई, बोलता है और कौन है भाई, नो नो नॉट एट ऑल बोल रहा हूँ मैं, और कौन है भाई,
अब जो भी
केएल
है भाई,
राहुल।
कल कल तो मेरे हिसाब से केएल भाई खेलने वाले हैं एंड कल परफॉर्म करने वाले हैं। अब आज मैं बोल रहा हूँ, वो दिन मैं नहीं एग्री करा था इंडिया नीदरलैंड्स के, लेकिन आज मेरी फैंटेसी पे केएल राहुल रहने वाली है एंड ही इज गोइंग टू स्कोर एटलीस्ट 90 मिनिमम। देख लो
90?
पॉइंट्स।
Oh, points. Okay. Yeah,
आई
पॉइंट्स क्या,
सेव माय सेल्फ।
मैं बाला कटा लेता हूँ था अगर तुम 90 रन बोल रहे थे तो।
है ठीक है, मैं 90 रन बोल रहा हूँ, अगर आप कटा रहे तो ये ऑन यूट्यूब भाई।
मैं दाढ़ी
कल
ट्रिम
90
कर लेता
90 के ऊपर मारा तो गंजे
दाढ़ी
हो जाना, दाढ़ी भी
दाढ़ी
दोनों हेयरलेस।
नहीं नहीं वैसा कुछ भी नहीं करेंगे बिकॉज मेरे को मालूम है केएल राहुल नहीं होगा, फिर तुम्हारा गंजा हो जाना पड़ेगा, अच्छा नहीं दिखेगा ना
नहीं
तुम्हारा
नहीं
गंजा कर रहे
नहीं,
तो।
खाली आप बोले, मेरे को कुछ भी नहीं है, मैं बनाया ये।
ये क्या है भैया, आप तुम जीते तो चमत्कार, हम जीते तो बलात्कार, ये क्या है यार, तुम पिंडा बिरयानी मतलब क्या है, हम करे तो तरकारी, तुम करे तो बिरयानी, हम हारे तो बाल निकाल लेना, आप हारे तो बाल नहीं निकालते, ये क्या बात है यार, चीटिंग, रूल्स आर रूल्स। तो खैर मुफ्ती आपका कौन पिक है भाई, आप सबसे पूछते रहते हैं ये शो पे, किसका है क्या है, आप बोलो।
from India.
आई वाज फ्रॉम इंडिया एंड बांग्लादेश।
From India and Bangladesh. From India, I'm going to go with someone that I have. I don't rate him as highly as a lot of people do. I feel there's a lot of weaknesses in his game. But if India have to win this World Cup, or if they go far in this World Cup, this guy has to perform. And his name is Hardik Pandya with the bat and ball. He has to perform, and that's why he's going to be my pick. And this is the game.
एक मिनट, this just in, we have our reporter Mr. Vinay Hariharan saying that there is 60% chance of rain करते हैं, संवाददाता है बैठे हुए कहाँ की कनाडा में, लेकिन बोल रहे ऑस्ट्रेलिया के वेदर। तो विनय भाई आपके श्रीलंकन सोर्सेज अगर हमारे को सही इंफॉर्मेशन दे रहे तो आई होप कि it turns into like 0% chance of rain, but thank you for the update and we'll stay tuned with you.
इंडिया पाक के दिन में 80% चांस ऑफ रेन था, नहीं हुई थी बारिश, तो इंशाल्लाह ये भी इट्स गोइंग टू वर्क इन द सेम वे।
But yeah, Mustafa, so
If
you
it,
said
if it
Hardik.
does rain, then India is in trouble, man. But
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
Faiz, so I'm going.
You said, yeah.
I'm from Bangladesh. I would have. I wanted to go the easy route and talk about Shakib Al Hasan. I think batsman bowler. I think he's someone to look out for. But I'll go with Taskeen. I think again fast bowler with the new ball will trouble KL Rahul and Rohit Sharma, who have been tentative in the tournament so far. They haven't made the most of the power play, and this man is bowling well in this tournament. He's picking that outside off stump length. He has a good pace on him. He can trouble the batsman. He has a good short one as well. And we've already seen KL Rahul being troubled with pace, and I think I'm going with Taskeen as Bangladesh's pick.
Perfect shot,
And,
because Taskin also gets that movement also, and that one out ball
Yes.
just dips, So I mean, both risky for someone like a Rahul, and I have a very bad feeling. That he's going to get an edge and he's going to be caught at slip or a caught deep. That's what I feel.
Rahul going to come out and start swinging. Power play means he's going to get his 50 of 20 balls. Dekh lo aap.
Oh, yeah,
Vinay Bhai says Arshdeep punt.
And Faiz and Litton does from Bangladesh. Faiz, the pitch at Adelaide, how are you expecting it to play? Because in the when it's peak summer, the Adelaide pitch actually turns a bit. There's some good bounce as well. A bit, it's not as bouncy as maybe the Perth or Gabba, but India do like to play in Adelaide. Virat Kohli loves to play in Adelaide. That's his.
Yeah.
I think his
But we
favorite
have
ground.
some bad memories from Adelaide the last time we visited there, though.
But the 36 all out, was it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Apni
So
last
there is
show.
mixed. There is mixed feelings.
Yeah, I'm just worried about Adelaide pitch that, like Mustafa said, in summer it's like bouncy and stuff, but like it's not very bouncy, but like odd bounce aa jata ball. One odd bounce हो जाता है, and someone like our team is always having that problem with the shorter ball. वो फिर फ्लिक करने जाते हैं, फिर थर्ड मैन पे कैच या फाइन लेग पे कैच जैसे भी देते जा रहे जिंदगी भर से, अभी तक सीखे नहीं साले। लेकिन बात ये है कि I still expect it to be a normal pitch, nothing too wayward that our batsmen won't be able to interact with. But hopefully, let's see, when if there's no rain and then there's no dew factor and then there's no wind, वो बहुत चीज़ा आने वाला, तो बारिश के हिसाब से I can't really predict the pitch. I don't think anyone can. Let's just see how it plays out.
Yeah, 100%. And any changes in the lineup? What are we thinking about? KL Rahul Kotha, we know that he's going to play, but Ashwin, will Chahal replace him? Would you like to see a spinner come in?
Yeah, I think. But the thing is, Mustafa bhai, Adelaide के square boundaries are very short. वैसा जैसा hitting down the ground और वो सब नहीं यहाँ पे कर सकते. बहुत long है straight, but square boundary short है, तो I don't know. I think चहल के साथ persist करेंगे and Pant for Karthik
प्रशिस्ट नहीं
probably.
लेना है उसको, प्रशिस्ट कहाँ करेंगे, प्रशिस्ट करे ही नहीं
किसको
अभी तक। चहल
किसको करना है? अरे मैं सॉरी अश्विन, मेरे दिमाग में अश्विन था और मैं persist बोल दिया, I'm sorry. चहल को लेके आएंगे and अश्विन को निकालेंगे and I think खुदा को भी निकाल के they are going to get our boy Akshar Patel back.
you're gonna get Akshar Patel back. So Akshar Patel and Chahal for you are the two changes that you would like to see.
Akshar Patel, Chahal, and probably Rishabh Pant for Dinesh Karthik, depending on fitness.
वो तो
That
ऑब्वियस है
would
बिकॉज
probably be
दिनेश
a first
कार्तिक का
choice.
तो अभी तक तो बैक उसका नहीं है फिक्स्ड एंड आई थिंक फ्रॉम व्हाट आई फेल्ट वो नहीं आ पाएगा बिकॉज वन आई वुड हैव रिटर्न द मैच इटसेल्फ अगर बहुत ज्यादा रहता था बिकॉज ऑलरेडी वी नो उसकी एज क्या है एंड थोड़ा रिकवरी इन लोगों को ज्यादा टाइम लगता है विद एज प्रोलॉन्गिंग एंड द इंजरी अगर इतनी लंबी इंजरी रह चुकी है बैक की तो इट माइट टेक सम टाइम सो एंड Pant does require, does deserve a chance, I feel, based on what even DK did that day. It wasn't a very good game for him. So I would say Pant, and I would just say I think Akshar Patel would play because I don't think that knowing India and how emotional and sentimental they are, I don't think they'll drop, what's his name? Ashwin.
Yeah,
Ashwin
Ashwin.
ko, it would be a confidence backing just Abolana. Like, I think that's what's going to happen. So I think Ashwin will play, Akshar will play, and Pant will also play.
If I put in another idea, would you guys consider this? Because Bangladesh do play spin reasonably well. In Australian conditions, we've seen them sometimes struggle with that extra bounce. Would you keep Akshar Patel as one spinner and then instead of a Chahal or Ashwin play Harshal Patel as your fourth seamer plus Pandya? That means 5 seamers. Would you do that? Would you consider that in Adelaide against Bangladesh?
To be honest, Harshal Patel provides almost the same value with the bat as Ravichandran and Ashwin as well. So, I don't see any harm, but, it could work out. So, I think we could go with Harshal instead of Ashwin probably. Yeah, that's a very good start, Musa.
It's it's a consideration, especially looking at the opposition as well and the conditions. Maybe that's an option that they can.
I mean,
Harshal Patel has head of this.
Yeah, there is a gap for experiment in this match. I feel I'll be considering the team at hand. I'm not going to sort of, but एक चीज है भाई, like अगर Shakib Al Hasan and the boys turn up, then थोड़ा backfire भी हो सकता. Because उन लोग का opener Najmul had a very fantastic innings in the last game and he must be booming with confidence right now. तो fast bowlers को खेलने में उसको बहुत काफी पसंद था from what I saw. So I think Ashwin will play because वही Indian का sentiment and stuff will come in the middle. I feel that.
Back the players. You think?
Yeah, that's what I feel like. That's what he's going to do. I don't feel that, but I feel like that's how we work.
If Harshal plays, they might play Chahal. No, but the thing is, then do you expect Harshal Patel to play the same way Akshar Patel plays with the bat? I don't know if they'll trust him that up. Yeah,
and that also in the first game of his first game at the World Cup. So I don't think so. Yeah.
First, there's some comments here. Vinay saying if Harshal plays, then they might play Chahal. Sara Ali Khan is saying Harshal is not at the level we need him to be.
Sara Ali Khan is the real Sara Ali Khan.
No, I think this is one of my friends who made an account. Who's sitting in my room right now. But yeah, Harshal is not at the level we need him to be. It's a very good point, actually, where he's not. If you see the series against Australia and South Africa in India, he was getting smashed all over the park. He was very expensive in the death overs. He wasn't really picking up wickets consistently, even if he was leaking too many runs. So he is not at that level. So it's a good point.
But I think I'd bring in the Sam Curran argument as well here because Sam Curran was not looking that he would do something in Australia, but I mean, credit to him.
Form का है, right?
Form का है, but हाँ, T20 तो खेला था, लेकिन हर्षल पटेल को मतलब अच्छा है. We've seen him in the IPL, अच्छा परफॉर्म कर लेता उन्हें. उसके बॉलिंग अच्छी है, डेड बॉलिंग भी कर ले सकता उन्हें रिक्वायर्ड. तो डाल के देख सकते हैं, बट मेरे को वही है भाई, करंट टीम के हिसाब से जो
मेरा पॉइंट खुद प्रूफ कर दे रहा. वी हैव राहुल, विराट, स्काई, पांड्या, पंत एंड देन अचल. वही तो बोल रहा हूं, 5 बैट्समैन है, कम है वो.
6 है, 5 है.
अरे उन्हें हर्षल को छठा बोल रहा, राइट? 1 2
सातवां बोल रहे हैं.
ओ 6 सातवां बोल रहा. नहीं
बट स्टिल नॉट इनफ. इवन बांग्लादेश में रहे तो भी नहीं है इनफ मेरे हिसाब से. बांग्लादेश हैव गुड बॉलर्स भाई अपने, और अपने ओपनर्स की फॉर्म के बाद जरा, ऑल्दो आई एम बैकिंग माय बॉय still.
What do you guys like? How do you guys think
Harshal at 7, I don't know. It might be light, bro. That's you're right. I think it will be light.
Shardul at 7.
Yeah, bolo Shardul Hasan.
Shardul at 7 यार, Shardul Hassan नहीं.
मैं वही सुना शार्दुल हसन इसलिए पूछ रहा हूँ मैं शार्दुल हसन क्या है.
Rayan, tell us from Bangladesh, man. Who are you backing, bro?
My boy, I backed him from day one, and tomorrow he's going to perform Musaddiq Hussain
Yeah,
with the bat and with the ball, the all-rounder. Come
good
on.
shout.
सत्य को से यार
Good
पिंडा में इसकी
shout.
बैटिंग
नहीं
देखा
but
मैं ये करा हुआ
हाँ
कुछ भी नहीं
नहीं
किया.
but to be honest, मैं है ना अपने उसको बैक करने वाला हूँ, नजमुल हुसैन ने, शंटू.
Shantu, yeah, Shantu looks good, but I think I'll back the captain. But captain, we'll go into freshen the press in a bit. But वो captain के आज press conference के हिसाब से तो नहीं दिखा कि captain कुछ confidence दे रहा players को. Uh, but yeah, I mean
नहीं है
it
Good
will be a
shout.
good. It will be a good game to watch. It will be a very good game to watch. I feel
India will
कि
be
Bangladesh.
slightly nervous, don't you think, Faiz? Especially
Yeah,
Indian
India
fans
will
will
be
be
nervous and अगर इंडिया में yeah like you completely on the money मुस्तफा because अगर इंडिया में जल्दी विकेट्स निकल गए तस्किन अगर शुरू में कुछ गिराक कर दिया provided we're batting first then we could really sort of self-destruct as we always do but yeah it's going to be a very good match to watch.
Yeah, I agree. And look, Bangladesh have upset India in the past. Even that 2016 game which India won with Dhoni's presence of mind, that was a very too close to call. Bangladesh should
Yeah.
have won that game.
Yeah.
And Bangladesh have a tendency, even though they're not that Bangladesh of 3-4 years ago, they have that tendency to do well against Asian teams, and they love to play against India. They really want to
Yeah.
always beat India. That's
And they're
for them.
always spoilers.
Yeah,
हमेशा
the
अपनी बैंड
rivalry at
बजाते.
one point, India Bangladesh was, it became India versus Bangladesh and Pakistan Afghanistan. Those were like the Asia's rivalries. So Bangladesh will be up for it, and India cannot take this lightly. And it should be a good game from Netherlands Zimbabwe.
Yes.
I'm going to send the Raza Fest, so you have to pick someone else.
I'm going with Richard N. Garava, the bowler. The guy, because, because he's been bowling very consistently well, picking up decent
You
amount of
always
wickets. I
backed him,
think.
right? Even before the World Cup.
Yeah,
You
I
liked
think
the-
I think he's been with the most इसकी line length सही डालता सही spot पे डालता. He does it. He's not very expensive. Gets the one odd wicket, and I think he's one of the top wicket takers right now in the tournament. I think कहीं तो भी है उन्हें fifth पे है I think. But yeah, I think I'm going to back him. रायन भाई आपके कौन है जिम्बाब्वे से?
मैं तो safe choice शॉन विलियम्स के साथ जाने वाला हूँ मैं.
Sean
That's a good shout.
Williams.
He played really well in
Yeah.
the last game. In
Yeah.
form, he's experienced as well. And yeah, that's a very good shout.
But
I'm
I
backing-
feel like this match में Wesley Mahadevere, my boy in the opening आके मारेगा.
Wesley Mahadev.
हाँ Mahadevere. Mahadevere.
By the way, you guys backing Zimbabwe in this game, or can we see Netherlands spark a surprise? Because we've seen in this tournament so far that there are it doesn't just because Zimbabwe beat Pakistan doesn't mean they're going to beat Netherlands.
Yeah, 100%. I think, and the Netherlands also has a decent squad. Like with them, they have Ackerman and people like that who are in the middle and sort of can do. If the top opener O'Doyd, जो है वो boy, if he
O'Dowd, yeah.
gets going O'Dowd, and if
O'Dowd,
Ackerman,
yeah.
their captain, yeah, these guys if they sort of click and save their wickets, but at the same time accelerate their innings, I think India, like Zimbabwe, is in for a strong match. Otherwise, like if they're able to pick up quick wickets and it's the usual Netherlands, take a ball, run a ball, खेले तो खत्म हो जाता फिर. पाकिस्तान का सीन आया था.
Yeah, Vin is also going. He's going Blessing and Sikandar
Sidi.
Raza, and from Netherlands he's going Van Meerkan. Sorry, I can't say Netherlands is the underdog. Yeah, Netherlands is the underdog, but they did play well in the first round, and let's see what happens against Zimbabwe. Let's go on to the next section. It's fresh off the press. आज का ताजा खबर साकिब अल हसन प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में या तो पॉइंट गेम्स खेल रहे हैं या he's lost all faith in his team, but I think it's the former. Fez, what did Saqib Al Hassan say, bruv?
Saqib Al Hassan basically said that against India, this is not a very important like a big match for India. We're not very strong opponents, and we basically have no chance to beat India. हमला बेकार है, हमला पिंडे के है बोल के बोल रहा हूँ. Which I feel like Mustafa said is definitely mind games. He's basically trying to take off all the pressure off his team just to let them go and have some fun in the field. मजा करो बेटे, आज तेरा लास्ट डे है ऑस्ट्रेलिया में, जो जी भर के खेलते खेलो वैसा मेंटालिटी बना रहा. But in the background, I'm pretty sure he knows that his team has the ability to qualify to the next round of qualification.
सबसे worst चीज जो उन्हें बोला सो है कि हाँ सबसे worst चीज that he said is we are not here to win the cup. Then why are you here, brother?
Yeah, why
Just
are
to
you
come and do time pass.
Yeah.
We are not
And
here to win
even
the
if
cup.
you say that to your players,
Yeah.
Don't say that in the press, man. You're
Press
giving the
conference,
option.
man.
Yeah,
Exactly.
don't say it in the press.
Yeah.
Like, you're there to win. Like, you want to win the
So
trophy. Like,
So
I
there are
basically,
two
respect.
yeah.
fact. There's two
Look, if he's
factors
being
in this.
honest about it, I respect it in a certain way, because yes, they might not be able to win, but yeah, I think going into a
Nah,
game
I
like
think
this, yeah.
there's two things to this. What I feel, Mustafa, as a leader would do, was basically show their play, show his players the mirror. So for
Hmm.
example, if you're my captain and you're giving me these kind of things that we're not going to be able to beat a team in the morning, I mean, there's some people with a mentality that they might not take it correctly, but थोड़े लोगों को क्या होता है बताने का एक वो जुनून आ जाता है कि अब मेरे कैप्टन को मेरे को बताना है खेल खिला के. So I think he's trying to ignite a fire in their belly by saying these harsh words, which is harsh reality, and he's expecting his players like to sort of respond to that. So I think वो थोड़ा एक नच तरीके का है कि भाई देखो बेकार खेल रहा अपन पूरा अपन जीतने के काबिल नहीं है. And I think he just wants a reaction spurred out of his players, which is ultimately what he tried to do, which is not the best way to put it. I think he could have just said that we have our players waiting, yeah, something or thoda aur acha bol sakta tha, but he just came out with harsh reality and just wants a reaction from his players, which is the most required abhi at this point of time in the
Yeah.
competition.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with that. Any other, we discussed what Rahul Dravid
Yeah.
said. He's backing KL Rahul. That is the news from there.
Videos,
Yeah.
videos of the net session in Adelaide, indoor net session, and again, I'm going to mention my boy KL again, and he was looking in fabulous touch. Faz bhai, what's your opinion on that?
Because again, he's always in the nets. It's everything in the nets with this team. I don't get it. Nets में sandwich, nets में लड़ ले रहे, nets में कर ले रहे, nets में कोहली के रूम में घुस जा
KL Rahul has
रहे.
been injured in the nets in the past as well, right?
Yeah.
He's been
But
pulled
I
out
mean, देखो
before.
भाई अभी ये नहीं बोल सकते कि इंजरी है उन्हें फिट फैट है बस like you said बहुत
नहीं
ज्यादा
नहीं,
घूम
मैं
रहा.
खाली बोल रहा हूँ, you're
I think
right,
जो
it
शाकिब
can
के
happen.
कमेंट आगे जो शाकिब के कमेंट्स थे, I think Rohit should have told this to what's his name, KL Rahul कि तुम्हारे से नहीं हो सकता, तुम बैटिंग करने के काबिल नहीं है, तुम बेकार प्लेयर है, तुम कुछ नहीं आ रहा तुम्हारे करने. Hopefully वो आग दिल में लग के उन्होंने आके इनिंग्स में बैट में फायर लग के उन्होंने बैट फिराएंगे. Hopefully.
Yeah, 100%. And you talked about the Nets. Our friends from Sports Yari, Manoj did come on.
Shant
His
bhai.
colleagues are there in Australia. They took a photo with Virat
Yeah.
Kohli today. We saw that on the Sports Yari page, and it looked like
Yes.
Virat Kohli all smiles. He's looking positive, and I noticed it in Dubai as well when I saw him over here. That Virat Kohli is like there's not much pressure of captaincy or anything on him right now. He's enjoying his cricket, especially after
Yeah.
that Pakistan game. Definitely, he's back in form, and I think he's looking to score runs every single game. He's not going to miss that opportunity.
Yeah.
And it was good to see him also discussing with Rahul in the nets. You're talking about the nets, Ran. He was giving Rahul a whole lesson.
Yeah.
You could see today. There's like a good 20-minute session there, I think, where they were discussing batting technique and what he can do better, probably.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just the learning phase for what Kohli came out of just now during his whole rut and whatever bad form situation that everyone was telling him off. But I think we're learning and experience he's passing on to Rahul, because Rahul is going in the same train as Kohli was just a few weeks ago or a month ago. So I think it's just that mentality, or at that situation your mind sort of connects and you're able to sort of advise your junior players that how you're going to handle the situation. And I think what Kohli was obviously not at that level maybe, but KL Rahul is feeling the heat from the fans and from everybody around him. So I think he needs kind of a positive kind of vibes from a Kohli or a Rohit Sharma, which he's getting, and obviously from his coach Rahul Dravid at this point. So I think perfect चीज़ है उसको shelter कर रहे, but I think it's high time that KL Rahul really shows that he's actually taking that advice and sort of improvising and working upon that thing.
Yeah,
Yep.
100%. Do you have any other news from today?
Other news कुछ भी नहीं मेरे का नहीं तो
I don't know if you want to talk about Prithvi Shaw's Instagram story. वो भी कोई news है.
क्या हुआ
I didn't
Instagram पे?
Prithvi Shaw, he said सब कुछ देख रहे हैं हम लोग or something like that along those
Because
lines.
he didn't get picked in
He didn't get picked in
Yeah.
yesterday's
Oh.
squad. Yeah.
It's getting about a favoritism kind of a thing. It's turning into Big Boss, I think, Indian cricket team.
That's interesting. I didn't see that. But let's go into the last segment of today. Let's discuss captaincy tomorrow, the captain's corner. So the first thing I want to discuss is from the death bowling point of view. Question was asked to Rohit Sharma. Why did you bowl Ashwin in that? And he mentioned straight that, listen, I know what happens in that last over. I think he was straight up talking about that Nawaz over. Now going into this game, how do you think the bowlers will be rotated? That's why I'm thinking they're going to go with that extra fast bowler. That's why Harshal Patel is there with the shout,
Yeah.
because if one spinner does get hit, then they'll want to bowl all five. They won't be forced to bowl his 4 overs. So Rayan, how do you see this playing out? Depending on the team that you're predicting, how will Rohit manage his overs from the power play to the death overs?
Mustafa, the first thing is the pitch जो है Adelaide की, we haven't seen it yet in the World Cup so far, and the match between Netherlands and Zimbabwe will actually give us an idea of how it's playing and what
Yeah.
is the best combination to go for. So to start with, I think it's going to be the same as how we did it against South Africa. Arshdeep and Bhuvneshwar was absolutely spectacular in the power play, swinging it both ways, and बस वही middle overs में control. This time I'm hoping for better control. Although we did get it until the 10th over, but just keep restricting and keep choking. And Vessi, I think he's going to rotate, carry on with Shami and Hardik, and if he goes with Harshal Patel, he off his 4 overs for the last 10, because that's where he excels, taking the pace off, bowling those Yorkers.
Yeah, go ahead.
Guys?
अब आ रहा, yeah, बराबर है, अभी बराबर है.
अब आया?
Yeah.
हाँ, आ रहा
वही बोल रहा था
था.
कि मैं
आपके वर्ड्स पहले आ रहे थे, आपके एक्शन बाद में आ रहा था.
अच्छा, तो वही बोल रहा था मैं कि हर्षल पटेल को आई थिंक उन्हें लास्ट के लिए सेव करेगा इफ ही डज प्ले. शुरू में ही इज गोइंग टू प्ले शामी बुमराह, सॉरी नॉट बुमराह, शामी, भुवी एंड अर्शदीप, एंड देन अक्षर पटेल के भी 2-3 ओवर ही ट्राई टू गेट इफ ही वर्क्स. तो वही है. आई थिंक मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम शामी एंड हर्षल पटेल, इफ हर्षल प्लेस, वो लास्ट में खेलेंगे उसके साथ. So those are going to be his death options today, and maybe one from Arshdeep as well. If the ball isn't swinging, then more from Arshdeep at the end.
Yeah. And Fez, he's probably hoping, Rohit Sharma, that in the power play again, Arshdeep gives that similar. Him and Bhuvi both get that similar type of swing, and if they do get that, they could have Bangladesh 4 or 5 down. But if they don't get the wickets, then that's where the middle overs and death overs would be crucial for India.
Yeah, I mean, completely I agree with Ryan when he says that, Zimbabwe's match with Netherlands will give us an understanding of how the pitch is working. And I'm pretty sure they'll also have their eyes glued to the match, because to understand the pitch conditions. I mean, kabhi bhi kuch bhi parade aa raha, kar ja raha, then we'll require someone like an Ashwin. I mean, basically what, you're saying when Harshal Patel is coming in, not bowling an over, I don't see the requirement. If why, then why get him? Like, it'll be a Ben Stokes kind of a situation today, जहाँ एक over उसके अंदर से निकल जा रहा, and उन्हें उसमें भी 10 रन खा ले रहा. Honestly, Ben Stokes भी एक अच्छा विकेट लिया, but I still feel कि भाई अगर the pitch is not acting up too much, and there's not a lot of wayward kind of a bounce or something, then Ashwin will play. That's what I feel. I don't know why, because वही है कि बंगालियां मानने जाएंगे at some point of time if Arshdeep and Arshdeep and अपना Shami give us the start that we require, middle overs में pressure में आके मानने जाएंगे, and somewhere like an Ashwin and what's his name, Akshar Patel would give you those wickets. So I still feel like it's not going to be Harshal Patel playing.
You don't. The only reason I'm saying, because we've seen in the past the Indian team, even with this current leadership in Rahul Dravid and Rohit Sharma, that they do make changes. We saw that even in the South Africa game. They disturbed the winning combination, and they did make changes depending on the opposition, and that's why I feel Harshal Patel's chances might increase in that way. So that's why I'm thinking that they might not stick with that combination. But if I'm looking from the opposition, point of view, Saqib Al Hasan, I'm giving Mustafizur and Taskin the opening bowling, and I'm putting a slip over there. I'm trying to get them to attack the stumps, get the ball to move in if possible, get one to shape out, and put as much pressure as I can on KL Rahul and Rohit Sharma. Try to stop that run rate initially, and then, because once Kohli, Surya Kumar start coming in, the run rate will increase. So I'm trying to tie them up and not let them get away. If Rohit Sharma and KL Rahul get off to a good start, then that will put a lot of pressure on Bangladesh in that way. So if I'm looking at it from Bangladesh point of view, and if I'm Saqib Al Hasan, I'm going all out attack. I'll go 2 slips and I'll tell them, yahan pe todo, like just put them under pressure. Even if you don't get the wicket, make them feel a bit nervous and get those dot balls, because India do have a tendency to consume quite a few dot balls in the power play.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, that's what we saw in the last match as well. There were too many dot balls in the beginning, and फिर KL Rahul out हो गया, फिर कोहली out हो गया, collapse हो गया, फिर वहाँ पे पिंडे में मिल गया. तो I think That's going to make a big difference. And if we really require Sky to again, then वही हो जाएगा Sky आके बचा ले रहा अपने को.
आप एक
Yeah.
चीज नोटिस करो अभी तक ये पूरे वर्ल्ड कप में एंड वो अपन इंडिविजुअल परफॉर्मेंसेस पे बहुत रिलाई कर रहे हैं इट्स नॉट अ कंप्लीट टीम परफॉर्मेंस इन मैचेस तो वो चारों के में ये मैच में इट्स अ कंप्लीट एवरीवन कंट्रीब्यूट्स पॉजिटिवली वैसा टाइप ऑफ परफॉर्मेंस के आई एम लुकिंग फॉरवर्ड टू टुमारो
Yeah, 100%. I agree with that. And you guys, no one mentioned Surya Kumar Yadav.
We don't need to because you already mentioned around the world.
वो सब लोग के दैट्स अ वो सबके वो डिफरेंशियल्स की बात कर रहे हैं सूर्य कुमार सबके फैंटेसी पिक रहने वाला है कल की
And also Surya Kumar is already his name is Sky, so he's always there in the sky, baby. So,
No, I think like this again. This game will probably suit him. This kind of game. So I think someone like a Surya.
Yeah, but I think I like your pick a lot, Mustafa, in terms of Hardik Pandya because he still has to sort of prove himself in terms of the hitter that he is. Bowling achi kara throughout the tournament. I would not give him a lot of hate for his bowling because he sort of held together the middle overs, and that is something that we really need. Batting के time से थोड़ा slow करा उन्हें Pakistan के against, but he didn't show up in the other matches. But hey, उसका he has it. He gets going in the beginning. I probably अगर उसको जल्दी आ गई batting, then और ज़्यादा उसका role देख सकते हैं अपन.
Yeah.
Yep.
Surya ka sir, what I like if because I'm looking at from the opposition because he's going to be the most dangerous batsman. I need to get him out, right? So there's you might have to experiment because right now he's in the form of his life. He can hit 360. Maybe put one spinner, one fast bowler from the thing. Sorry.
What is his weakness? I still don't. We just never see his weakness.
No, he doesn't. But the thing is, he plays one shot too many sometimes, right?
Yeah.
And that's where you need to get him. You need to get him play a false shot, or like a shot he just misplaces it. Like not every shot he's going to clear. So I think that's where maybe you put one spinner and one fast bowler from different ends. So you have different pace. He has to adapt a bit, even though it's not a problem for him. And just hope he mistimes one because right now the form he's in, he doesn't have a weakness right now. It might be exploited later on. But what I've seen of Surya Kumar, he does sometimes play one shot. And I'm looking at a very small margin here. This might not be possible to do with the form he's in, but this is the way I'm going to. If I'm Saqib, I'll give Mehdi one over and give maybe a Taskin or even Mustafiz just like hold him back and change the pace in that way, like not necessarily in 1 over and 2 over split, and try to hope that Surya Kumar makes a mistake in that way.
Yeah, I think that other mistake that I see or I saw or I witnessed or whatever is that one odd outside of stump ball जो जाता है उन्हें चुप वहाँ पे लर करता, like somewhere but कोहली की जो बीमारी थी एक टाइम पे, तो I feel कि वो भी he can get stuck in by like a Taskin or a Mustafizur. And जैसा मुस्ताफा बोला, या तो स्काई कर सकता स्काई या तो स्लिप में कैच दे सकता स्काई. These are the only two ways to get him out at this point of time. एक बॉल दिखता कि उन्हें उसके रेंज में है, जाता and then he just sort of gives it away.
Yeah, 100%. I completely agree with that.
But all eyes on 90 runs of KL Rahul. है तो दिमाग में फिर रहा हो रहा है इनके बाद.
90 runs of KL Rahul. I picked so first picked KL Rahul in the Netherlands game. I picked KL Rahul in the South Africa game. Third time lucky, maybe Ryan gets it spot on and turns it out to be a genius. But yeah. I think that pretty much wraps it up. Indian fans will be a bit nervous going into this game. First of all, you need rain to stay away, and you need a full 40 over game. You need them to be there and at least try to fight for result, because if it rains, then again that Zimbabwe game will be nervy. And if that rains also, then Pakistan are back in with a shout.
Yes.
वो फैज आपके लिए एक क्वेश्चन जाते जाते जोशी जी पूछ रहे हैं कि ब्रो व्हाई केएल राहुल इज स्टिल प्ले.
जोशी जी, मैं रोज सुबह में उठता हूँ और ये सवाल अपने दिमाग में सोचता हूँ कि ये कई को हो रहा, कि केएल राहुल कई को खेल रहा है, ये केएल राहुल कैसा खेल रहा है, कुछ इसका कोई कनेक्शन से, क्या सुनील शेट्टी पैसे दे रहा है या कुछ है, मुझे पता नहीं है.
अगर जोशी जी, मैंने एक रीजन दिया था जो मैं पॉडकास्ट में नहीं बोल सकता, बट लेकिन मेरे ट्विटर पे है वो. अगर आपको कभी टाइम मिला, मेरा हैंडल है और हमारा हैंडल है, उस पे आप एक बार जाकर देख लो क्या था वो रीजन.
बहरहाल तो मैं
जैसा because look, he has the talent. He's performed before. There's no one right now who's in crazy form in the bench. Rishabh Pant ka naam le rahe, but he has also struggled. And the same allegations might be turned on him if he doesn't perform in 2-3 games. Then all of us will say Rishabh Pant ko kyun khilai, right? So that's why he's still playing. whether he deserves to continue to play, tomorrow will be a better day to decide that. But definitely he has to
Yeah.
step up. He's not doing justice to the
नहीं.
role which is required of him.
बट इन ऑल ऑनेस्टी लाइक आई वुड से कि भाई जिस तरीके से उसका एक्सपीरियंस है एंड जिस तरीके से हम उसको आईपीएल में देखते हुए परफॉर्म करते हुए, तो आई एक एक्सपेक्टेशन है भाई, उम्मीद है कि हाँ भाई, क्योंकि मैं पागल नहीं हूँ कि मैं उसको एक मैच में देखा, फिर मुस्तफा एक मैच में चूज करा, अब ब्रायन भी, सबको मालूम है कि उसका क्वालिटी क्या है, वो क्वालिटी उभर के नहीं आ रहा, निकल के नहीं आ रहा. आई रियली वांट हिम टू परफॉर्म भाई. इट्स नॉट लाइक आई हेट द गाय, आई लाइक हिज प्लेइंग, आई लाइक हिज क्रिकेटिंग शॉट्स. बट जब आप इतनी उम्मीद लगा के किसी के लाइक एक्सपेक्टेशंस है आपको एक प्लेयर से एंड वो प्लेयर खड़ा नहीं उतरा, then you sort of get a little bit upset about that. तो वही हो रहा है जोशी जी. Everybody is just expecting too much from him and I think वो ज़्यादा प्रेशर अपने कंधों पे नहीं ले रहा. थोड़ा जिम में जाके शोल्डर मारना है शायद उसको, तो कंधे बड़े होंगे और इरादे बुलंद होंगे और होपफुली एक इनिंग्स जबरदस्त मिल सकती है उसे, होपफुली इंशाल्लाह.
100%. With that, it wraps it up. Any last comments, Rayan?
No, I think I'm pretty much summed it up. हम लोग कर चुके हैं. बस मैं केएल राहुल के 90 चाहिए मेरे को, बस फैज भाई को प्रूव हिम रॉन्ग. बस यही मेरा
एक सवाल मेरा रहेगा आप दोनों से. हु डू यू थिंक ग्रुप बी में, ग्रुप 1 का तो अपन डिस्कस कर सकते, ग्रुप 2 में कैसा दिख रहा है आपको, लाइक अभी के हिसाब से?
साउथ अफ्रीका, नो रेन, साउथ अफ्रीका इंडिया.
साउथ अफ्रीका इंडिया.
No rain, South Africa, India.
I am saying I like what I said. Everyone's going to choose India, so I'm just going to say South Africa and Zimbabwe is what I feel.
I thought you were going to say India, Pakistan.
है ही नहीं यार. I don't think Zimbabwe has a chance. Zimbabwe has to beat us.
Pakistan wants a Pakistan themselves right now, mostly.
Yeah, that's true, right? Pakistan actually need both India's games to get washed out. Then they have a chance. Otherwise, they don't have a chance.
And that is a very likely probability, but like a very unlikely probability.
Never know. मिसबा के दुआओं को कौन कबूल कर ले सकते अल्लाह.
Yeah,
I
you
think
never know.
Yeah, of course. लेकिन मिसबा की दुआ T20 World Cup 2007 के फाइनल में कबूल नहीं हुई.
Yeah, कुछ भी हो सकता. But yeah, I think किसी का वो आ गया स्विगी, so
नहीं नहीं था, बस नोटिफिकेशन था.
स्विगी आएगी, बेबी आएगी, क्या आएगी मैसेज? बेबी
बेबी तो सेकंड फ्लोर पे भाई.
The Swiggy is a signal for us to wrap up the show. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Hopefully we get to see cricket tomorrow. Hopefully the rain stays away. We get to see a cracker for Rayan's sake. KL Rahul performance for
and hopefully all smiling tomorrow and not Bengalis saying कि हमला तो ऐसा बोले थे कॉन्फ्रेंस में, देखे फिर भी जीते हमला बोल के.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, I think that wraps it up. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Catch us tomorrow.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
At a similar time. And make sure you're liking and subscribe to the channel. Share it with your friends. And it's been a pleasure, guys. And I will catch you tomorrow. Take care and good night.